This is Tank's Vlog for September 11th, 2018. We're wrapping up the day in sports. You like this shirt? This shirt is a shirt that's available for the podcast Allow Me to Be Frank. My vlog sponsor, the weekly podcast, is available on iTunes and SoundCloud, and these shirts are available through Too Much Tuma webpage. So, get a shirt to support the podcast and listen. We have a new show that's going to be coming out today with the guy who runs the Twitter handle, Old Takes Exposed, Freezing Cold Takes, finds old things that people say and exposes them when they're proven horribly wrong. And I've been featured on it numerous times, and I'll be featured on it numerous times again, especially with the week I had picking games. 6-10 against the spread. Ouch. Ouch. As always, in week one, there are 2 Monday night games, and one of them was one to remember for Jet fans. Sam Darnold making his debut against the Detroit Lions. If I were the king in the NFL, I'd be a team of lions. On the first play, his first pass intercepted by Quandre Diggs, returned 37 yards for a touchdown. Jet fans are going, oh, why didn't we draft? Why didn't we draft Josh Rosen? Why didn't we draft Josh Allen? They're having dreams of Browning Nagel dancing in their head. Ding, 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 ding. Browning Nagel. Browning Nagel. But it wasn't over. This is Sam Darnold, the 21-year-old with the maturity of a 31-year-old veteran. And that was, he just brushed that interception off. Sort of like Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. And he went sift on the Lions. Not a mistake the rest of the way. Jets roar out to a 17-7 lead. Now the Lions, they got a good drive going before the half with a field goal. Got a good drive going after the half, tied the game 17-17. Jet fans are thinking to themselves, uh-oh. But what does happen? Sam Darnold happened. And he took the Jets down the field, hit Quincy Enunwa, and the game, the Jets had to lead back. And from there, it was Katie Bardador, Darren Lee with a 36-yard interception return, touchdown. Andre Roberts with a 78-yard punt return, touchdown. Isaiah Crowell with a 62-yard run, touchdown. 31 unanswered points. Jets humiliate the Lions. Matthew Stafford has that awful game. Maybe it's not Matthew Stafford's fault, but boy, he was thrown around like a rag doll. 4 INTs. There's nobody on that team. Matt Patricia, wow, what a horrific debut. I mean, Matt Patricia fell on his face. And he's going to shave next week so people don't recognize him. That's how bad Matt Patricia, his Lions looked. If there's one thing that might tarnish Bill Belichick's legacy as a great coach, think about some of the great coaches. Maybe not so much Lombardi. He also didn't have any great assistants that you could really think of off the top of your head. But think of some of the great coaches. Paul Brown. Think of all the great coaches that he tutored, that he mentored. People like Don Shula, Chuck Noll, Bill Walsh. Now you got Bill Walsh himself, George Seifert. I believe John Gruden might have, Gruden was under Seifert, but then you have Mike Holmgren. He tutored Gruden. It's like one big tree. And a lot of this, the roots are actually Paul Brown. Paul Brown's coaching tree is the biggest majestic oak in the forest. The Bill Belichick coaching tree is that tree that Charlie Brown had in Christmas. It's Christmas time. Charlie Brown, you know, the one that when he tried to put the Christmas ball on, it fell over and went. That's the Bill Belichick coaching tree. I mean, Charlie Weiss, dumpster fire. McDaniels, dumpster fire. Romeo Crennel didn't make it. I mean, think of Bill O'Brien's not a very good coach. Think of all the Bill Belichick coaches that have been utter failures and actually ended up back on his coaching staff sometimes. And Matt Patricia, wow. Woo! He's got to take that pencil out, hoping you can erase that game. In the second game, it was John Gruden returning for the Raiders. He signed that big deal. But basically, he took the Raiders and he went like this. We're starting from scratch. We're throwing them out. Khalil Mack traded, and what might go down one of his worst trades ever. I mean, I don't care what type of players they get. Unless they get a real star back, they're going to regret that for years in Las Vegas. Well, they'll be in Vegas by the time anyone really realizes and cares. Got a lot of crowd there. Good, fired-up crowd for what could be the final home opener in Oakland. Nobody knows where the Raiders are going to play in 2019. They're going to Vegas in 2020, but 2019, they need to find a stadium. Nobody knows where they're going to play. And the Raiders came out strong. I mean, very great. Jared Cook, dominating performance at the tight end position. Derek Carr found him numerous times. Big first down, running over people, 180 yards reception. Marshawn Lynch gets a first half touchdown. And the Raiders go up 13-10, and they should have had a bigger lead. They pushed the Rams around. They had the ball like 20 minutes in the first half. But an interception, settling for a couple of field goals. And the Rams just turned things around. They started taking the game over. They flipped the script. It was the Rams that controlled the ball in the second half. And then Derek Carr just fell apart. Three interceptions in the second half, including an ugly pick six. Where was he throwing that ball? Nobody knows. But the Rams got the win, 33-10. Very good win for me. At least I saved me the embarrassment of a 5-11 start with the spread, thankfully. There was some baseball played on Monday night. Not in Citi Field. A rain out. Now this is so Mets. They decide to bump Jacob deGrom from Sunday start because of rain. Apparently didn't tell Doppler Mickey Callaway the weather forecast was worse today than it was yesterday. So no game today. Doubleheader Wednesday. Now Jacob deGrom hasn't pitched in a week, so he's not going to be sharp. He's never sharp on extra rest. And this is how they're going to help him win the Cy Young. This is so Mets. And yesterday's game, no problem. He could have pitched. He could have pitched yesterday. He just had to pitch around raindrops. The game was played. All those fans that went tickets and saw Corey Oswalt pitching. That's like buying tickets. That's like buying a ticket to see Frank Sinatra perform at Radio City Music Hall, and you hear, and today Frank Sinatra is not performing. Instead, we bring you the singing of Tiny Tim. Tiptoe through the tulips, tiptoe. I mean, come on. Oh, I feel so sorry for those Met fans that went out yesterday and expected to see Jacob deGrom and didn't. And now today he doesn't even pitch. Yankees played and Gary Sanchez hit a monster home run. Who knows if this is going to finally wake him up. As the Yankees do what they always do and beat up on the Twins. Boy, the Twins when they see the Yankees, it's not even fair. It's like they're like little leaguers. You could probably even send little leaguers out in the Yankees uniform, and the Twins will probably lose. While the Jets were beating down the Lions across the street, Justin Verlander was making his return to Detroit for the Astros and beating the Tigers 3-2. His 15th win of the season. In the National League, where the National League West is as tight as can be, the Dodgers had not a good loss. They got to beat the teams you have to beat, and they got beat up today by the Reds 10-6. Meanwhile, the two teams were battling, played each other, and the Rockies rocked the Diamondbacks 13-2. Now lead the Dodgers by a game and a half, and the Diamondbacks by 3.5. Central divisions, things are getting tight. As the Brewers are now just one game out, but it's 2 in the loss column after a 3-2 win on a Carl Edwards wild pitch, allowing Mike Moustakas to score the game-winning run. It was the Rays 6-5 winners over the Indians on a walk-off home run by Choi. Matt Adams hit a 3-run homer to help lead the Cardinals past the Pirates 8-7. So they're building their lead in the wild card, and all of a sudden, that West, you might have to win a division if the Cardinals and Brewers keep playing the way they're playing. Tigers beat the Angels 5-2. Braves beat the Giants 4-1, and the Phillies were ringed out in Washington. Play a doubleheader on Tuesday, and the Phillies can't afford to fall much further behind. Now they're now 4 out in the loss column, 5 out overall. If they don't play well in that doubleheader, it could be see ya, Philly. And of course, Met fans will say, "We did that." Today's 3 stars are Todd Gurley, who just ran over the Raiders, 149 all-purpose yards, a nice touchdown. I'm going to give Darren Lee the 2nd star of the Jets. He had 2 interceptions and a pick 6, which broke the Lions' back. We have David Dahl is the 3rd star for the Rockies. He had a home run and 4 RBI. You know what name I mentioned before? Mike Moustakas, who was a deadline deal acquisition for the Brewers and scored a winning run today. Today's his birthday. He turns 30. September 11th, of course, that horrible day, 17 years ago, when those animals attacked us. And it's how is it? It must really suck to have a birthday on September or any day. It's like that. This day will always be ruined by that event. That event was so horrifying, so awful. All those people that got killed, it's scarred this day. This one day of the calendar will always be scarred. And that's what I always think about September 11th. And today's look back on September 11th is back to 100 years ago when the Boston Red Sox won the World Series. Yes, the Boston Red Sox won the World Series 100 years ago in September. What happened was the government was basically shutting down. It was, okay, we're in this war. This war in Europe, we don't know how much longer it's going to go. Every able-bodied man has either got to work for the war effort or go over to Europe and fight. So you had a whole bunch of people were forced to sign up, were drafted, and baseball was put to a halt. They said, nope, regular season ends September 1st, you'll play the World Series, and that's it. And fortunately enough, the war actually ended 2 months later, 11/11, and 11/11, the guns stopped. So check out the full story of Barstool Sports and Sports Encyclopedia where sports history lives. And don't forget, with freezing cold takes, this week's a great episode of Allow Me to Be Frank. I'm sure you'll enjoy it like you always do. Do I ever do you wrong? So listen, enjoy iTunes and SoundCloud, and have a good day.